To set up the first alert, let's open the top menu, click on the alerts and switch the tab to the company metric. Here we can see the alerts we've already set up earlier, but let's remove them for now so that we can create a fresh new alert. Now, suppose we want to buy Microsoft stock, but we want to do it only when there is a good buying opportunity, meaning we want to have a good timing. The good timing means we need the upside to be relatively high rather than low. However, what does it mean for Microsoft to have a high upside? How high is high enough? To address that, we can switch to the master chart. Let's open it in a new tab, and we can try to determine what the typical historical readings of the upside looks like for the Microsoft company, because these are different for each and every company. And when we try to assess the historical reading and see how they look like, we can draw after that reliable conclusions based on these observations. So this is always the first step to try to determine what does it mean to have a high or low upside. Let's see on the chart. I would say that the level of 22% in that case means that the upside is high and that there is a good opportunity, because many times in the future, in the past few years, the upside crossed that threshold, and these were extremely good buying opportunities. The whole 2022 was one big good buying opportunity. But now the upside is extremely low, so it means that the buying opportunity is rather bad. This indicates that that it might be a good time to sell the stock if someone owns it right now. But never mind. 22, right? 22 means that the upside is high enough for us to buy the company, or to just to consider buying the company. On the other hand, the low upside is much higher than zero, because during the last couple of years there was only one occurrence that the upside went below zero. So we can't treat the zero threshold as a reliable threshold in that case. We need to determine what is the real low upside and the real lower threshold for this particular company. And it looks like the reasonable lower threshold is somewhere around 7%, right? So we have our range, 7 and 22. 22% of upside means that this is the good opportunity to buy a Microsoft stock, and 7% of upside means that it's time to sell. So now let's get back to the alerts tab and try to set these parameters. We want to be notified when the upside is high, so we won't miss any buying opportunity, right? So we use higher or equal logical expression here. We want to be notified when the upside is higher than 22%, for example. Let's add the alert. Here it is. If we already own the stock, we would want to add new alert for the same company, Microsoft, with the same metric, but with different type of the logical expression, because we would like to be notified when the upside falls below, drops below 7%. Type lower or equal, value 7%. In that case, the system will notify us via email every time the upside drops below 7% for the Microsoft stock. So we know when it's the time to sell the company. In the same way, we can set up more alerts. For example, for price to earnings ratio, let's see and try to assess what does it mean for this particular company. What does it mean to have high price to earnings ratio, and what does it mean to have low price to earnings ratio? Looking at the 10 years period, we can say that high price to earnings ratio is somewhere about around 38, 40, 38. Let's say 38 is the higher threshold, and the lower threshold is 28. So the typical price to earnings readings from the last couple of years are somewhere between 28 and 38. That means the company is undervalued, which means the good buying opportunity, when the threshold of price to earnings falls below 28. Let's say below 30. Now we'll be notified when the price to earnings falls below the threshold describing a good buying opportunity and describing undervalued stock, possibly undervalued stock. We can do something similar and add another alert that will let us know when and if the company becomes overvalued. In that case, being overvalued, when looking at the price to earnings ratio, overvalued means that the price to earnings ratio is above 38. So let's type it here. And that's it. Now we have a short but beautiful list of the desired buy and sell criteria. And that means we no longer have to monitor all parameters daily, while still being confident that we won't miss any opportunities to buy or sell stock at the right time.